Live, late-breaking, investigative. CBS 5 News at 6:30 starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Kent Dana.
And I'm Catherine Anaya. We begin with late-breaking news right now from northeastern Arizona. A school near the community of Ganado on the Navajo Indian Reservation remains on lockdown right now after a phone call about people with weapons. We are gathering a lot of information for you on this story. Reporter Tammy Leitner is live in our newsroom with the very latest. Tammy.
Catherine, I spoke with Window Rock Police and they told me this all started around 3 o'clock this afternoon. They got a call from a girl, a female student who was in the bathroom at school. She was calling from her cell phone and she said that a man with a gun was threatening her and that there was also 5 women with knives. Now at that point, police went ahead and locked down the entire school. All 700 students were told to stay in their classrooms, sit on the floor, not to talk, and to keep the doors locked. And they escorted each of the students out class by class. The students walked out with their arms up and they went ahead and searched them and then put them on buses and took them to another building. Now this all took a little under 2 hours and at that point they hadn't found anything. Window Rock police are saying that they are not able to confirm what this girl has told them. I also spoke with the FBI and they said they're still investigating, but this has gotten blown out of proportion. The school was only put into lockdown. There were no hostages taken. Reporting live in the newsroom, Tammy Leitner, CBS 5 News.
The death of a child is never easy to report, but this case is one of the most disturbing we've seen. A newborn baby died yesterday. Police say her father is to blame. The allegations involve both physical abuse and sexual contact. CBS 5's Carol Liu is live at the 4th Avenue Jail where this man was taken. Kara, what did the family have to say?
Well, the mother says she left her baby with her husband while she went to the next room to rest. She says he had never shown any signs of violence before.
It's hard to believe that your child's father did this, but she needs to see him and have him tell her.
Anna Dickinson talked about the loss of her granddaughter. Angel was just 20 days old.
This was their angel. That's why they named her. She was a gift from God to them.
Of course, I miss her and everything, but I'm not really sure right now.
Susanna's husband, 21-year-old Sean Pierce, is now behind bars. The couple met in junior high, married this past January.
No, I would never think that he would abuse her, because he's never done anything to her in the past or anything, you know. I mean, he was really good with her.
But court documents show Angel's skull was fractured and she had massive internal injuries. Police say Sean Pierce admitted that he shook the baby. Counts against him include abuse charges stemming from alleged sexual contact at the couple's Phoenix home.
It was really hard. I got to hold her for the last time.
The family says Angel passed away Tuesday. Carol Liu, CBS 5 News.
Just one day after his extradition to Utah, Warren Jeffs went back before a judge, but he stayed in jail in Hurricane. He appeared in a video link with a judge who was in nearby St. George, Utah. The 50-year-old was wearing a green striped jail uniform during the initial appearance. The judge announced a preliminary hearing date for September 19th. That's when lawyers will talk about whether Jeffs could get bail. Jeffs is charged with arranging marriages of underage girls to older men in both Utah and Arizona. And we've just learned that Warren Jeffs' brother John was arrested last week for refusing to cooperate with authorities. Sheriff's deputies went to do a welfare check on John Jeffs' son, but Jeffs refused to answer questions or cooperate. He was arrested and released yesterday. He's expected in court next Monday.
We are not ready to say goodbye to the monsoon, but we might be getting close.
Yeah, we might be getting close, especially if we don't get rain by tomorrow or Friday, because it looks like a pretty dry weekend. But right now, we could get some blowing dust, especially you boaters. Take a look. We started on Maricopa County, Valley of the Sun, just to the east. Let me fly over here, over on the eastern side of the county. You know the lakes that we're talking about, Roosevelt, Apache, Canyon, all the way down through Saguaro, Tortilla Flats. Look at this cell starting to just develop over the last hour. Some lightning strikes out ahead of it just to the east of Apache Junction. So you folks in the East Valley definitely could probably see some blowing dust, and we're going to keep an eye on some isolated thunderstorms. Let me fly right over. Just across the border, Yavapai County, Maricopa County. Here's Lake Pleasant. There's Wickenburg. Castle Rock, I believe, is up in this area. You can see some storms just starting to slowly move to the south at around 5 miles an hour. Maybe some blowing dust just north of Sun City West. We'll keep an eye on that. Have full coverage in your weekend forecast coming up in the next few minutes, guys.
Day 2 and still a lot to talk about. Thanks, Scene. Sports director Chris Caraggio joins us now.
Yeah, can you say no-hitter and Diamondbacks in the same sentence?
Well, you know, just, I don't know, a half hour ago, you heard, tell Catherine, I tried to jinx it.
You did.
Remember? Scene, you heard me, I tried to jinx it.
I heard you. I heard it.
I believe you, Chris.
You don't have a lot of power anymore.
May 18th, 2004. That was the last time anybody threw a no-hitter in Major League Baseball.
Whoa.
That was a perfect game by Randy Johnson of the Diamondbacks. This time, the Diamondbacks on the other end. They were playing tonight in Florida against the Marlins. A 22-year-old Venezuelan by the name of Anibal Sanchez had it going. In the 7th, this is the closest anything came to a hit. Steven drew up the middle, but Hanley Ramirez spinning, getting him by a half step. We go to the 9th. Sanchez clinging to that 2-0 lead. The last hope, Eric Burns, ground ball to short. Ramirez down on one knee, gets it across the dot. Burns almost beat that out, but that is it. The first no-hitter in 2 3/4 seasons in Major League Baseball, the longest drought ever. As I mentioned, 2-0. Sanchez no-hits the Diamondbacks. The second time the Diamondbacks have been no-hit in their existence. Last one was 1999.
Probably less than 10,000 fans there.
In Miami, nobody saw it.
If only we could have reversed it, though.
Yeah,
Would have been
that's
nice.
true. Wow.
Thanks, Chris.
All right.
Not too many people like the sight of power poles, and tonight people in one Mason neighborhood are taking their complaints to a public meeting with SRP. The neighborhood is near 76th Street and McDowell, all new tonight. CBS 5's Jennifer Parks takes a look at why this problem is so big.
Residents here on 76th Street say they can handle the regular power poles that currently run between their homes, but an 80-foot, 69,000-volt power pole, well, that's another story. SRP is proposing building one of those lines down 76th Street, and residents say this is the wrong spot. People who live along this 2-lane road say 76th Street is not an arterial and no such line should go in here. They say doing so would lower property values, restrict views, and not to mention be an eyesore and a health hazard for neighbors. Andrea Vickers is one of the neighbors planning to fight the power poles and SRP.
I just don't feel this is an appropriate site for something that dangerous and that big. This is a residential street with homes, no businesses, no main traffic. It's a quiet street. It's not industrial at all.
SRP is at tonight's meeting at the Red Mountain Public Library, and so are we. Coming up at 10, we'll bring you the heated reaction, and could this happen in your neighborhood? Reporting in Mesa, Jennifer Parks, CBS 5 News.
And all new on CBS 5 News at 6:30, Maricopa County Sheriff's deputies arrested an employee with the Department of Air Quality today on charges that he tried to extort money from a Mesa businessman. Daryl Dotson offered to erase a fine if the business owner would pay 20% of the fine directly to him. The business owner called the county attorney's office, and this morning the sheriff's department set up a sting. This is video from that sting. Dotson reportedly says he has never done this before.
He seems to say it's his first time, and he comes up with kind of a stupid defense saying he was just accepting consulting fees. So I don't know, that's not going anywhere. I'm sure Mr. Thomas would agree with that.
Dotson was booked into jail this morning.
A legislative loophole is forcing domestic violence victims to be turned away from much-needed services. CBS 5 News has learned that a $650,000 federal grant has been put on hold instead of going out to domestic violence shelters and legal aid agencies across the state. A recent change in federal regulations has led to the delay in disbursement of certain grants. Judith Shaw with Phoenix's Community Legal Services says they've had to turn away hundreds of victims because they simply don't have the resources.
It is frustrating because at Community Legal Services we serve the most vulnerable of our populations, and whether that's the elderly or children, in this case we're talking about victims of domestic violence who are already in situations that's very difficult to get out of.
A Justice Department spokesperson tells us the money should be sent out to these agencies in the next few weeks.
You didn't have enough with what you wear? Stop the camera right now.
A scary situation for a news crew investigating a story.
For years, parents have been looking for a way to fly safer with their little ones. A Valley company may have the answer.
And a Valley police officer who was almost killed in a horrible fire begins a new chapter in his life.
This is the Valley's only live 6:30 newscast. CBS 5 News at 6:30. With Kent Dana, Catherine Anaya. Weather with Chief Meteorologist Sean McLaughlin. Live, late-breaking, investigative. CBS 5 News. Chief Meteorologist Sean McLaughlin, now on CBS 5 News.
You know, the great thing about living here in Arizona is the weather. I mean, it's great year-round, but it can also change at the drop of a hat. We want to keep people safe, and that's why we place a high importance on our forecast.
Governor Napolitano is getting help from fellow Arizonans to show you what we've accomplished in the last 4 years.
She turned a $1.3 billion deficit into a surplus.
While cutting taxes. And now we have $650 million in our rainy day fund. The most ever.
Time magazine named Janet one of America's 5 best governors.
She's made education a priority.
Increased teacher pay attracts and keeps high-quality teachers.
And now we have voluntary all-day kindergarten.
She's been the toughest governor in America in protecting our border.
The first to send in the National Guard.
And we wrote the law that breaks up human smuggling rings by seizing their assets. Our future's looking brighter.
With a new medical school in Phoenix and more doctors for Arizona.
We've improved long-term care for seniors.
So we can be more independent and live in our own homes.
Arizona's on the move.
330,000 new jobs.
But we're not done yet. With your help, we can get even more done in the next 4 years.
Paid for by Napolitano, 2006.
I'm trying to put together a surprise party for my fiance with everyone from our class.
Well, parties normally bum me out. This one sounds particularly creepy.
How cool is it? I married a young Allen. He was a huge football star, so you know, he got hit in the head a lot.
Oprah Mommy has to go.
You named your daughter Oprah? I'm a fan.
Okay. The Class premiere CBS Monday, September 18th.
Camera. You didn't have enough with what you wear? Stop the camera right now. Oh, yes, I will.
This is perhaps the video of the day. Tense moments for a fellow journalist in California.
A local investigative reporter there was working on a story about stolen identities being used to buy real estate, which, watch what happened, rather, when he confronted a woman.
And we should warn you that some of the video and the language you're about to see is graphic.
That's not appropriate.
I don't give a Stop your behavior. Do you like Tijuana or Ensenada? Which one do you like better, huh? I'm going to put you in the other side of the country.
That is really pathetic.
I don't care. Stop this. Stop this right now.
Have a nice day.
No,
you.
Have a nice day, my
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Son of a...
You know, he remained a lot calmer than most people would, I think. The woman walks away, but not before trying to push the cameraman down, and that's when her husband showed up. He takes a swing at the reporter, and they get into an all-out fight. Another man jumps in to help break it up. The police finally arrived and took both the husband and wife into custody. The reporter was taken to the hospital and released for major cuts on his face.
A new child restraint system on the market could make it easier to keep kids safe when they fly. The FAA today approved the CARES device that is made here in the Valley and is the first harness-type restraint for children to use on airplanes. It attaches to the seat and hooks into the seat belt. Makers of the device told us the harnesses are much easier for parents to deal with than typical child safety seats.
The CARES restraint is a small item. It only weighs about a pound. It can fold up into a small fanny pack. It actually comes, when you buy it, it comes in a small pouch.
Now, this is a crash test without the use of a harness. You can see the difference for children with the new device. We have a link to the website where you can order them. Just go to our website, KPHO.com. A closer look at the Republicans looking to unseat Governor Napolitano and a look at what Republicans are breaking ranks to support her.
Plus, President Bush admits to secret prisons and announces a new plan to prosecute suspected terrorists.
And do we have a slight chance of some blowing dust, maybe a scattered sprinkle or two right now in the valley? Details on that, plus your weekend forecast straight ahead. You're watching CBS 5 at 6:30.
I want to know the really interesting stuff, like what do they have in the refrigerator?
I'd like to meet the celebrities that could come out in their blue jeans, shoot some hoops in the driveway. And while we're cooking, sure, tell me about your movie.
Everyone needs a little R&R. Rachel Ray.
Starts September 18th on CBS 5.
I need to see your driver's license and registration, sir.
Gee, officer, don't bite my head off. I'm registered in Arizona. I know it's the law.
Yes, but your registration's expired.
I tried to renew it this morning, but the MVD office is closed on Sunday.
Yes, but Service Arizona is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm going to have to write you up.
Thanks, officer. He's no Mr. Nice Guy.
That's ServiceArizona.com, because every second counts.
It's not easy being the new guy in town. New house, new job. So what do you do? If you're Arizona quarterback Matt Leinart, you get a Quest football bundle. You'll get direct TV service, high-speed internet, local and long distance, even nationwide wireless. And all of a sudden, you feel right at home. Get the bundle that Matt got. Call 1-8776-GO-LONG today. It's one more way we bring more life into your life. That's our spirit of service.
You know, aliens don't look like this. They look like real people like you and me. You know, they run Mercury Insurance. That's how they keep their rates so low. I've got a ton of evidence over at my booth.
I'd like to see that.
Really? Whoa, sorry. Sorry, he's fine. Okay, thanks. Sorry.
Jim Peterson has spent over $8 million of his fortune, and he continues to attack John Kyle. But Senator John McCain says the attacks on John Kyle's integrity are dead wrong. John Kyle's character and ethics are unquestioned in his work for Arizonans. John Kyle, named by Time magazine one of the 10 best senators in America. Jim Peterson should quit trying to give John Kyle a black eye.
I'm John Kyle, and I approve this message.
Welcome back to CBS 5 News at 6:30.
Stay with us for Rockstar Supernova. That's coming up in 14 minutes.
Some big-name Republicans have crossed over to endorse Governor Janet Napolitano for her re-election. Among those endorsing her are former Attorney General Grant Woods and former legislators Jack Jewett of Tucson and Chris Hurston of Phoenix. In less than a week, we'll know who Napolitano will face off against in November's general election. CBS 5's Peter Bush is live in our newsroom right now with a look at who's vying to represent the Republicans for governor. Peter?
Well, Catherine, there's 4 men, all from the Valley, with aspirations of becoming the state's most powerful politician. But a recent poll released just last week says that none of them should be too optimistic about their chances of unseating Napolitano. Here's how the poll broke down.
Candidate Don Goldwater would get only 27% of the popular vote, compared to 62% for Napolitano. Len Munsell fared slightly worse, getting only 23% of those polled to say they'd vote for him over Napolitano. Those numbers were identical for candidate Mike Harris, 23% compared to Napolitano's 62%. Gary Tupper was shown the least amount of support in the poll. The most moderate of the candidates would get only 20% of the vote to Napolitano's 62%. Now, today I talked to Matt Salmon, the chairman of the Arizona Republican Party. He says those numbers won't look so bleak after the primary.
When you got a crowded primary, it's hard to focus on, on the real race at hand, which is after the primary ends. I speak from experience. I was in a governor's race 4 years ago, and I came out victorious in the primary and ended up losing by less than 1 percentage point to this incumbent governor.
The primaries are next Tuesday. Peter Bush, CBS 5 News.
He almost died in the line of duty, but Phoenix police officer Jason Schechterly surprised everyone with his recovery.
Well, today another surprise. He announced his retirement. 5 years ago, he was severely burned in an accident. He's had 50 surgeries over the years and was able to return to the force and become a homicide detective on light duty. But today, with his wife at his side, Jason Schechterly said he's taking a medical retirement.
You want to do this job the way it's meant to be done. And without a gun on your hip, you can't do that.
Jason plans to be a reserve officer and volunteer in the homicide department at least once a week. And looking at headlines from around the world, President Bush makes some major changes in dealing with terror suspects and how the U.S. interrogates them.
Speaking at the White House today, he admitted to secret CIA prisons, saying they have helped gain information that has ultimately stopped potential terror attacks. He followed that by saying that we don't torture prisoners. He also talked about moving key terror leaders now in custody to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. President Bush says the goal is to eventually close Guantanamo. He also announced a way to get around the Supreme Court's decision that military commissions need congressional approval.
So today I'm sending Congress legislation to specifically authorize the creation of military commissions to try terrorists for war crimes.
And as part of its War Games exercises, Iran today unveiled its first locally made fighter plane. It is similar to the American F-18. Reports say it can launch both rockets and bombs. NASA scrubbed today's launch of the Space Shuttle Atlantis because of a problem with one of the fuel cells. They will try again on Friday.
Crocodile hunter Steve Irwin will not have a state funeral. His father says that's simply not the way his son would have wanted it.
He's just an ordinary bloke. And he wants to be remembered as an ordinary bloke.
Well, known for breaking tradition, Pope Benedict XVI today was seen with a wide-brimmed red hat. He wore it while saluting pilgrims waiting for him in St. Peter's Square. That's another way to get noticed.
Yeah.
In honor of the Cardinals game this Sunday.
Yes.
He's retired the mitre?
I guess so.
That's the 2 Dorito chips?
Temporarily, anyway.
Turn them over, you can dig a small channel. But
he'll try.
It's bad. Don't laugh at that. See, now I'm going to have to go to confession for like the next 8 weeks.
We'll make sure you get there.
Oh, break out the rosaries. Well, we're trying to maybe pray for some rain. We need a little rain, maybe just a little bit of blowing dust outside tonight. Let's take a look outside and show you what's going on. Now, what's this showing us? Well, this is a live look at what's going on to the northeast. But watch what happened. About 25, 30 minutes ago, we time-lapsed this because we wanted to show you that the storms are trying to develop just outside of Maricopa County. I mean, this was having some pretty good development. Here comes this storm starting to bubble up, and then it just flattens out. It doesn't really do anything up there near Roosevelt Lake, Alamo Canyon, and Saguaro Lake. Now, there's probably going to be some blowing dust into the northeast. There's a live look again. 99 was our high today, 102 the normal high, 111 the record on this date. Right now, across the valley, temperatures are still in the mid-90s, about 97 again over at Sky Harbor, 95 in Goodyear. Possibility of some blowing dust again in the northeast and east valley from the dissipation of those storms, as well as up to the north, up near Lake Pleasant. Now, this one is holding together a little bit longer than the one in the East Valley, so we're going to keep an eye on that. But our better chance of rain, as we take a look throughout the state, lots of activity to our north today in central Yavapai County, our better chance of rain will be tomorrow. In fact, take a look at our microcast here. Watch your timeline. Some showers, some light sprinkles, but mostly clouds will move through around lunchtime. But then about 5 o'clock, just in time for your drive home, we're really going to have to watch the possibility of these storms coming down off the rim and then moving in through the east, northeast part of town, the northern part of the valley. And then we could be in for a rock and roll night Thursday night and then all day Friday. The moisture's in place. Monsoon 2006 really not going anywhere as of yet. But if we don't get this shot of rain by tomorrow night and Friday, it looks like it's going to be pretty dry over most of the weekend. Here's a look at the Valleycast for tomorrow. Temperatures, you're noticing below the century mark. So we're really kind of indicating we're thinking of that cloud cover that's going to make it over here, that's going to keep us below the century mark, in fact, across the entire valley. Now, that's going to come with it a couple of sprinkles and then some showers by tomorrow night, a possibility after sunset. 4 o'clock tomorrow, about 99 degrees. Again, the normal high should be about 102. Now, our chances of shower, I don't want to overplay this, is about a 30% chance as of now. We might bump that up by tomorrow, and then throughout the day on Friday, our best chance of showers. And then look at the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, actually are going to clear up. Little mistake there on Sunday. It's going to be dry. Temperatures are going to actually start to warm up by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
A little bit of everything going on.
We
Not
do.
bad.
We have it all.
Keeping you on your toes. Thanks, Scene. The time right now is 6:52.
We will update you on tonight's top stories when we come back.
The new KPHO.com. News, weather, traffic, and entertainment at your fingertips to keep you informed 24/7. Get all the latest information about the arrest of polygamist leader Warren Jeffs. The new KPHO.com. The smart way to spend time online.
With AAA auto insurance, when the unfortunate happens, it can feel like it never happened. Visit AAA.com for an auto insurance quote and see how affordable peace of mind can be. AAA, and on you go.
At your Chrysler dealer, it's all about the best in American and German engineering and design. Like the best in style and performance, Chrysler 300, the most awarded new car ever. Town & Country, the highest ranked van in initial quality according to J.D. Power & Associates. And right now, it's all about you. For the first time ever, well-qualified buyers get 0% financing for 72 months on 2006 Town & Country. It's our best offer yet. Get 0% financing for 72 months on one of the best Chrysler vehicles in the best Chrysler lineup ever. Hurry in for this limited time offer.
The Termite is smart, stealthy, resilient. Many have faced him and failed. To defeat him, I must be smarter, stealthier, dominant. I fight for the people. To them, I am numero uno, and I will not let them down. Yes, my foe is formidable, but I am terminable, and in the hands of a best professional, I am the best there is.
Visit us online to find a pest professional near you.
John Kyle's changed. He's received big money from big drug companies. In return, Senator Kyle has voted to stop the reimportation of safe, lower-priced drugs, costing us billions. Kyle even voted to prohibit Medicare from negotiating lower prices, making pharmaceutical giants billions more. John Kyle's gone Washington, and we pay the price.
I'm Jim Peterson, and I sponsored this message because you can't change Washington unless you change the people you send there.
Chief Meteorologist Sean McLaughlin, now on CBS 5 News.
Weather and Mother Nature is going to do exactly what it wants to do. And that's what makes weather and forecasting weather, not only here in Arizona, but across the country, so exciting.
CBS 5 News, now with Sean McLaughlin.
Turn off the water while you brush your teeth and save 4 gallons of water a minute. Find hundreds of water-saving tips at wateruseitwisely.com.
We have a look at tonight's top stories right now. Questions tonight in the community of Ganado, Arizona on the Navajo Reservation. A high school was put in lockdown for most of the day after a threat of people with weapons. We've now learned a female student called in that threat from the school bathroom. She says she was threatened by a man and 5 women, all armed. So far, school officials haven't found any truth to her story.
Warren Jeffs appeared in video court today from jail in Hurricane, Utah. The judge set a date of September 19th for a preliminary hearing. That's when the topic of possible bail will be discussed. The polygamous leader is accused of arranging plural marriages in Utah and Arizona.
And a chance of some blowing dust up near the lakes in the northern and eastern part of the county. And here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Surprise, chance of rain on Friday. And it looks like a pretty dry weekend. Football fans, you're looking great for all that tailgating at ASU and Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah, looking forward to that rain, though. It'll be nice.
Yeah, we need it.
Thanks for tuning in at 6:30.
And tune in tonight again at 10.
See you then.